History hides moments when doing the will of God unleashes consequences no one expected. This story begins with a star and ends with the cries of mothers in Bethlehem. Long before Jesus spoke a word, his birth drew men from far beyond Israel. They were called Magi, astronomers, priests, scholars of dream and starlight. The word Magi comes from ancient Persia, Magash, a priestly caste. From it we get our English words magic and magician. Centuries earlier, in Numbers 24, verse 17, a prophet named Balaam said, "A star shall come out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel." This prophecy was considered the sign of a future king that would rise out of Jacob. The Magi knew these prophecies because Jews once lived in Babylon as captives. And during their captivity, Daniel wrote and left behind his prophetic testimony of a kingdom which would rise during the Roman Empire. Forget the Christmas card. They did not travel as three lonely travelers. They marched like a royal embassy. Their arrival may have numbered in the thousands. And when they entered Jerusalem, Jerusalem trembled. They asked a question that had deadly implications. They asked, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews?" In Herod's mind, that title belonged to one man and one man only, him, Herod. And he was a paranoid puppet ruler installed by Rome. And he now feels threatened by a prophecy he thought was dead. When they arrived, Jesus was no newborn in a manger. Matthew says they entered a house and saw a paidion, which means a young child. Herod calculated the approximate age of the boy from the time of the star's first appearance, which he calculated the child could have been as much as 2 years old. Gold for a king, frankincense for God, and myrrh represented one of the spices which would be used for his burial. And beyond symbolism of those gifts, they also had a very present and practical use. They were used to finance Joseph and Mary's midnight escape into Egypt. When Herod realized the Magi had defied him, his rage boiled into murder. He ordered every boy, 2 years old and under, slaughtered. The Magi followed a star with holy intention to honor the promised king, and yet their arrival triggered a massacre. And it seems that very often God's plan will collide with human corruption. And so we find that the light of God provokes the darkness in the hearts of men. And so I find that this story reveals at least two truths. Light will always disturb the darkness, and God will always protect his purpose through unexplained and unexpected means. So, you see, those same gifts that honor Jesus also save Jesus. And the Magi's obedience in following the star also served to preserve that unique child who would one day change the world. And so it's true that sometimes doing what is right creates conflict we never intended. But in the end, God always prevails in redeeming what human power seeks to destroy. Okay, so now, for more video subjects drawn from biblical teaching, check out my channel at Let Us Break Bread Together YouTube. We out.